What's going on, Patriot fans? Welcome back to the PrimeTime Patriots podcast. As always, I'm your host, Jake Mott, coming at you guys a couple days after a Sunday afternoon loss in which the Patriots lost against the Packers at Lambeau Field. Lost that game in overtime, 27-24. It was a nail-biter. It was a great game. A lot of unexpected turns, a lot of things we didn't see coming, so let's jump right into them. We got the good, the bad, and the ugly, as we do every week. So, the first good, Bailey Zappi. So, I want to preface this and say it's not as far of a positive as some people in New England and around the NFL are taking it. I don't see it as that, but let's explain a little bit. So, 10 of 15, 99 yards and a touchdown. Came in towards the end of the first quarter after two full drives of Brian Hoyer. Brian Hoyer getting hit on the last play of the second drive for the offense. Ended in a field goal. So yeah, he gets knocked out of the game. In comes Bailey Zappi. Something that a decent portion of people actually wanted to see on the field instead of Brian Hoyer. So those people get their wish. In comes Bailey Zappi. And he does pretty decent. He doesn't turn the ball over, number one. He drives you down the field two times and scores two touchdowns as an offense. He throws one of them. The other one you run in with Damian Harris. But two effective, efficient drives. Now, I don't think this is good by traditional standards, right? If we're looking at what you want your starting quarterback to do in today's NFL, 14 points, well, it is only about three quarters, 14 points under 100 yards passing and one touchdown pass is usually not going to cut it. And in most cases, it wouldn't be good. I wouldn't have it under the good category. But circumstances and situations do matter. This was a game that Bailey Zappi was not starting. He probably got very limited first-team reps in practice all week. This is an incredibly difficult environment for anybody to play in, let alone a rookie in their first NFL regular season action, to be at a packed Lambeau Field with a team that needs a win just as much as you do, and they're rallying behind Aaron Rodgers, one of the best quarterbacks in the game. So for him to step up and really show that poise, show that calm nature, not turn the ball over. I mean, I remember it was the first snap, we got a false start, and that's something you can see in any level of football. When you change quarterbacks, the cadence switches, and then you start to notice things like false starts, little things like that. That happened on the first snap, and your first thought is, oh, God, here we go. But after that, really, he gets out of that tough situation. You didn't expect him to do anything with that first drive he had. He was backed up inside the 5. They run it a couple times. He misses a throw. But they don't turn it over. They don't kill themselves. They punt the ball away. And throughout the rest of the game, Bailey Zappi able to bring those two touchdowns in for the Patriots and really keep him in a game. When you bring your backup quarterback in, your goal is to have him put you in a situation where your other athletes and your other leaders can win that game for you. You just want them to put you in position to where you can win that game. They shouldn't go out and outright win it with brute force. And you obviously don't want them to go out there and hurt your team and actively do negative things like throw interceptions, fumble the ball. So he didn't do either of those. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He put you in position to where your athletes could have won you the game, and they came up a little short. But in terms of Bailey Zappi, in terms of his role and what he had to do, I thought it was a good positive for the Patriots. So, moving forward, they continue to run the ball extremely, extremely well. So your two backs, Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson, combined for 152 yards on 32 carries. That's just 4.75 average. That's pretty damn good. Both of them average basically the same. I think Harris had 4.8 and Stevenson 4.7 or vice versa. But they were really workhorses the whole game. You were able to lean on that running game, especially in... Look, it's not hard for us to figure it out. It's obvious that the Packers would have sold out much more heavily for the run. A, with Brian Hoyer in there, and B, once the rookie backup quarterback comes in the game, you're selling out for the run. You know that's what the Patriots are going to try to lean on and try to beat you with. Patriots still, in that situation, very, very effective running the football. Again, this was a concern coming into the year. They were trying to implement the new zone run scheme. A lot of uncomfortable things for a line that a lot of people, myself included, think is very talented. And now it's starting to come together. They're able to move the ball. They got two really efficient, effective backs. Neither of them world class, but both of them pure starting caliber backs in the NFL, and they're looking like it. The line is doing its job. They're moving people around. They're creating some holes, and the running game looks really good. So once you get Mac back, hopefully you have some more consistency from that quarterback position. He's a little safer with the ball. That running game is going to be huge if it can continue to stay as consistent as it has. All right, so the final good thing, it's kind of a joint thing. Jack and Marcus Jones, the young corners, continue for, I believe, the fourth week in a row to be one of the highlights of this Patriot team. Jack Jones stood out immensely in this game on Sunday. You couldn't miss him. Aaron Rodgers, I believe, now has only thrown 2 pick sixes at Lambeau in his entire career. One of them, Jack Jones, the rookie, made a great play in what is usually a rhythm throw for Aaron Rodgers on an out route or a curl route out to the right sideline. Jack Jones just runs the route for the receiver, just makes a great jump on the ball, anticipates the throw from Rodgers. One of the best throwers of the ball in the league, always great at deceiving corners and backs. No problem. Jack Jones steps up, big play, takes it all the way to the crib. Big points there for the Patriots in a game where they certainly needed it. And Marcus Jones, while he's still doing pretty good when he's brought in on defense, is really shining and starting to shine as a return specialist, both punts and kick returns. Marcus Jones is proving to be that guy that you've needed for a while. Haven't really had super consistent punt returning since probably the prime days of Julian Edelman. It's always been a mishmash of people that they've tried to give that role to. Never found anything super consistent. Looks like they might have found something here with Marcus Jones. And he gives you some effort on defense as well. Not much more you can ask for. So that wraps it up for the good. Pretty short here on the bad and the ugly. And I'll tell you why. I don't think the Patriots really... I think overall this was a decent game for the Patriots. If you look at it in betting standards, that's an easy way to understand it. The Patriots were, I believe, 9.5-point underdogs. And that's before Brian Hoyer gets hurt, right? So Brian Hoyer gets knocked out. Now you're to your rookie fourth-round quarterback. And they still lose the game by 3 in overtime. Like, that's really, really good. There's clearly a lot to build off. I'm not a moral victory person. I don't want to act like this is something that the Patriots should be all gung-ho about. You lost the game. But I think you did play pretty well. I don't think there's a bunch, or you at least played what you were expected to play. And if anything, slightly over that. I think you did slightly exceed. So not a bunch in terms of the bad and the ugly for this game from me. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it. So the bad, coaching decisions. So obviously there's a lot of talk about the decision in overtime. It was about 4th and 5 from, I believe, Green Bay's 45. And instead of going for it, trying to get over that 40, put yourself in a really decent field goal range position and pick up a first down, they instead decide to punt on 4th and 5. Good punt from Jake Bailey, pins them within the 5, But Aaron Rodgers does Aaron Rodgers things, drives down, gets them in field goal range, and they hit it with time expiring. So it's super easy. I don't want to be the guy that comes on here and says, you should have just went for it. You should have went for it. It's easy to say that now, obviously, hindsight. I just don't love the idea of giving the ball to a quarterback as efficient. Aaron Rodgers, top 3 quarterback in the NFL. A lot of people would say 1. Obviously, back-to-back MVPs the last 2 seasons. Guy is no joke. I don't like the idea of giving him the ball twice in overtime. You got lucky as a defense. You're playing in a game where you're basically playing with house money. You're 10-point underdogs without the quarterback you started the game with. So now you're still in a game that you shouldn't be in. Why give it back to Aaron Rodgers when he only needs to drive 50 yards to get a field goal, when you can just get 5 here and then maybe a couple chip runs to get yourself to the 35 or so and try to kick the field goal and win it? Control the game yourself. Bailey Zappi, again, good day. Unless he throws a pick on that 4th down play, is anybody really blaming Bailey Zappi for losing this game for you? Or like, he did what he was supposed to do. I think you put the money on the table right there, and you go for it on 4th down and try to just get yourself in position for that game-winning field goal. You get lucky stopping Rodgers once. I don't know why you'd give it back to him again in overtime. Especially there was a similar situation in regulation. They did the same thing where it was a fourth and say 4 or 5 right around midfield. They decided to punt it away, try to pin him deep. It's tough to continuously do that, especially at the end of the game when you know, hey, a first down right here basically gives us a 90% chance of winning this game, or maybe even higher. I think you got to take that shot when Aaron Rodgers is on the other side. So let's move on to the ugly. Hunter Henry finds himself, I believe, once again for the second straight week in the ugly category. No great way to cut it, really. Hunter Henry, 4 straight games now of 20 or less yards receiving, and he did it only on 2 catches for 13 yards in this game. His best line was week 1. He had 2 catches for 20. That was 19 at first, and they moved that up to 20, so he got a yard, which he needs every bit of it right now. He has 5 catches on the season, under 50 yards, 0 touchdowns. It's a guy who was your biggest red zone threat far and away last season. He was the person that people had to look out for. Especially when you bring in a rookie quarterback like this, you always look for the inexperienced guys to really favor and go after that tight end. 90% of the time, it's easier routes for the quarterback to make throws to. It's closer around the center of the field. The reads are simpler. Usually you can get into situations where there's clear mismatches and you got an outside backer or a middle backer lined up on that tight end. That's the matchup a lot of young quarterbacks like to try to take advantage of. Hunter Henry's production didn't change. He still wasn't able to get open. And it's slightly concerning because you did see Jonnu Smith making a few plays again. Jonnu Smith being finally somewhat productive, but it's come at the expense, for whatever reason, of Hunter Henry just fading away completely. So you'd like to see him get going. Maybe it's a Mac thing, maybe once Mac gets back, but obviously it's been a problem all season so far for Hunter Henry, so we hope he can turn that around, help the Patriots out, hopefully in that red zone as well, put some more points up. But anyways, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in again this week. Once again, the Patriots fall in overtime, led by Bailey Zappi for 3 quarters, 27-24 to the Green Bay Packers. It was a great game. It was a lot of fun to watch. Classic Sunday afternoon football game. Heart was going the whole time. Can't ask for much more. I mean, you could ask for a win, but getting a little greedy with the third-string quarterback. So hopefully they're able to move on next week. Not sure about Mac Jones' status. Obviously, he practiced a little bit this week, so it could bring some optimism in him playing. I would assume it's going to probably be Bailey Zappi, though, which will be interesting. We'll get to see a full week of preparation from him, see what he's able to do in a week where he's treated as the starter. So be sure to tune in. I'll break it all down for you guys on Friday or Saturday, right before that game on Sunday. Super excited, looking forward to it. Thanks again, guys. Go Pats.